Hey, Dr. Morgan Nolte here, founder of Zivli and the Reshape Your Health podcast. We help you lower insulin resistance for long-term weight loss and better health. In this video, you'll learn the 3 most common insulin resistance diet mistakes. Failing to lower insulin levels is a big problem. Over time, high insulin levels leads to insulin resistance. This is a root cause of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, some cancers, and some dementias. Helping you lower insulin resistance is what we do at Zivli. We've helped hundreds of people lower insulin resistance. People like Carol, who put her fibromyalgia into remission, lost 30 pounds, got off all her meds, and won a 5K race for her age division with a low insulin and inflammation lifestyle. If you are struggling with belly fat, high blood sugar, or high blood pressure, listen carefully to see if you're making one or more of these mistakes. So what's the first and by far most common insulin resistance diet mistake? It's eating beyond your personal carbohydrate tolerance. The recommended dietary allowance for glucose is 130 grams per day. This is the amount deemed necessary to meet the needs of the obligatory tissues in 97.5% of the population. Obligatory tissues can only run on glucose. They can't use ketones, and they include parts of your brain, kidneys, red blood cells, and neurons. While they need glucose, it's still not considered an essential nutrient. Essential nutrients have to come from your food because your body can't make them. But your body can in fact make glucose from other carbs, proteins, and fats. In fact, for people with insulin resistance, eating less than 130 grams of glucose per day is good. Better than good, it's often required to reverse insulin resistance. After you eat starch and sugar, 2 types of carbohydrates, your blood glucose or sugar will rise. This rise in blood sugar will cause a rise in insulin. The insulin acts as the key that causes a GLUT4 transporter to come to the cell membrane. Think of this GLUT4 as a tube slide. The glucose slides from your bloodstream to your cell to be stored or used. The only other way that this GLUT4 transporter gets through the cell membrane is through exercise. That's why moving after a meal is a powerful way to lower blood sugar. Everybody's level of carbohydrate tolerance is different. The more muscle tissue you have, and the more active you are, the more carbohydrates you can tolerate. Your carbohydrate tolerance also depends on age and menopausal status. The younger you are, the easier it is to reverse insulin resistance. If you've gone through menopause, you've lost some insulin sensitivity. That's why losing weight after age 50 can feel more challenging than when you were younger. You can't get away with eating like you did in your 20s when you're 50. To know your personal carbohydrate tolerance, there are a few things that you can do. The first is to consider how you feel after a meal. If you feel tired or mentally foggy, you likely had more carbohydrates than what your body wanted. This fatigue after a meal is a common symptom of prediabetes and diabetes. The second is to use a continuous glucose monitor or CGM. Your target blood sugar range will depend on your personal history. The American Diabetes Association has pretty liberal recommendations. They say to aim for a post-meal blood glucose response of less than 180 if you're diabetic and 140 for non-diabetics. We prefer the optimal numbers proposed by Levels Health. They suggest a post-meal glucose response of 110 or less, with no more than a 30 milligram per deciliter increase from your before meal levels. For example, let's say your pre-meal glucose is 80. You would eat your meal and see if your glucose rose beyond 110. If it did, that means that you had too many carbs, or you made mistake number 2, which we'll get to in a minute. If you're very insulin resistant and inactive, you will do better on a lower carb approach. Let's get to mistake number 2. This is failing to watch portion sizes, especially when using intermittent fasting. You may fill your plate with healthy protein, vegetables, and fats, but if you're overeating any nutrient, even the healthy ones, they will eventually become fat. It can be tempting to overeat, especially if you're going from 5 to 6 small meals a day to 2 to 3 large ones. To avoid this mistake, we recommend you plan your protein first. That's the most important macronutrient. This is because your body needs adequate protein to build and maintain muscle. It's important to know that your body doesn't store extra protein you eat. Extra protein that's not needed is either excreted as urea or turned into glucose and stored as fat. So we have to get protein regularly to maintain our muscle. We recommend getting at least 30 to 40 grams of protein each meal, and from there, fill in with foods high in fiber and healthy fat. Keep starches and sugars low unless you're using them to fuel exercise performance. Excess starch and sugar will cause an unnecessary glucose and insulin response. If you need help figuring out which foods are high in protein, fat, and fiber, download our free Ultimate Food Guide at zivli.com/ultimate food guide or check the link in the description. Tracking your macros may be helpful for you. We recommend the Carb Manager app for this, and you can get free setup videos at zivli.com/macros. A continuous blood glucose monitor can be helpful to know how much food your body handles well per meal. If your goal is to lose weight, you will need a sustained energy or calorie deficit over time. This is much easier to meet with intermittent fasting compared to eating 5 to 6 times per day. For one, intermittent fasting allows a longer period of time without needing insulin. This allows a lower baseline insulin and glucose level to develop compared to stimulating it multiple times per day with eating. If your insulin is high, your body can't burn fat. Insulin is a fat creation and storage hormone, so to burn fat, you must keep insulin low. The second is that it's hard to feel satisfied and full on small meals. If you're doing mini meals, you're likely underdosing that per meal protein recommendation. In summary, if you're overeating when you do eat, you won't see weight loss results even if you're using intermittent fasting. The third insulin resistance diet mistake is not being a fat and added sugar detective. Certain types of fats and sugars common in processed foods, condiments, and salad dressings contribute to inflammation. Two big fat culprits are canola and soybean oil. This inflammation will make insulin resistance worse. Have olive oil or avocado oil-based salad dressings instead. You can usually find healthier options that don't contain added sugar or unhealthy fats. For a sugar example, this Heinz ketchup has 4 grams of added sugar per tablespoon. 1/3 of this ketchup is just sugar. A healthier substitute is Primal Kitchen ketchup. It has 0 grams of added sugar. Mayonnaise is a great fat example, even the olive oil kind. This mayo has olive oil listed as the first ingredient, but the next 2 are canola and soybean oils. There's also added sugar. Another one to look out for are salad dressings. You may be thinking you're eating healthy with a big salad, but your dressing could be optimized. This blue cheese dressing is loaded with soybean oil. You can make your own dressings with healthier oils. Some healthier recipes can be found in our low insulin recipe bank that we'll link to below. We hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're notified when we post new information on insulin resistance. Next, watch this video to better understand insulin resistance, and this one about 8 insulin resistance diet tips to lower insulin fast. And click below to see our programs and services to help you lose weight and lower insulin resistance.